national as well as international training programs, ICR courses, and over 80 number of capacity building initiatives for farmers and extension personnel. And Dr. Vasantakumar was an instrumental in establishing the field and water technology unit and the environmental controlled experimental poultry facilities at Namakkal. He has also underwent advanced overseas training at the University of Georgia, USA, under the World Bank funded NAVNAW program. So now, please.
Okay. Respected Chairman, Co-Chairman, report here, dignitaries and delegates, good morning. Let me share some points about the nutritional requirement of Asil chicken. As we know, Asil chicken is a dual purpose breed, both meant for meat and egg production. So we have feeding standards of ICR or Indian feeding standard. So that was recently revised during the year 2024, nutrient requirements for chicken. So we have undertaken some studies related to nutrition requirement of Asil chicken. So this is the ICR nutrition requirement that is revised 4th edition. So protein requirement is 18% and 14% during growing phase and 16% layer phase. So energy requirement, lysine, methionine, threonine. So these nutrient requirements are given for most of the important nutrients. So we undertaken some studies related to energy and protein requirement for Asil chicken. So we tried at different levels of protein in the diet, starting from 18.5% to 21.5%. So we taken the 20% as a control diet. So the results showed that the growth rate difference between male and females start at 6 weeks of age, and there was a difference of 30% between the males and females, and there was improvement in the body weight gain as the protein level increases in the diet. So the best feed efficiency was observed at a 13th week of age, containing 21% CP in the diet. So we conducted some gene expression studies also in this experiment, that ND1 gene expression was more in the high protein diet containing 21% in the diet when compared to the 20% or less than 20% diets. So when the CP level was more, the gene was upregulated in case of CYATP gene in the breast muscle. Similarly, the gene expression of this MSTN, myostatin gene also studied. So higher the protein level in the diet, that downregulated the MSTN gene expression. Coming on to the cost effectiveness of Asil chicken fed varying levels of protein in the diet, it was found that 21% CP was found to be economical. So from this study, we can infer that from 6 weeks onwards, the male birds attained higher body weight. So there was a difference of 30% between male and female birds, and 21% CP in the diet was found to be economical and improving the body weight gain with less abdominal fat. And in the next trial, we tried with different energy levels in the diet, so varying from 2600 to 3000 kilocalories of ME in the diet. So in this, the best feed efficiency was observed at 15 weeks of age for meat purpose. Again, the gene expression studies showed that a higher expression of ND1 gene was positive in higher energy levels. Similarly, the gene expression of CYTP gene, okay, that was upregulated when the energy level was 2900 kilocalories of ME in the diet. Coming on to the cost effectiveness, so the maximum profit of 4.64 rupees per kg body weight gain was observed in T4 group fed 2900 kilocalories of energy in the diet. So from this experiment, we can conclude that 21% CP and 2900 kilocalories of ME per kg is recommended for native chicken. And in case of female, they require comparatively less energy. So they require 21% CP and 2600 kilocalories of energy. So we can go for sex separate feeding also, because males require more energy and females require less energy. So sex separate rearing of asil chicken is also recommended. Coming on to the calcium and phosphorus requirement studies in asil chicken. So we tried at different levels, 1% calcium and 0.8% calcium levels, and similarly 0.3 and 0.4% phosphorus in the diet. So the results indicated, we conducted this, there was no much interaction between the effect of calcium or phosphorus on the body weight gain. And when compared to the production performance, 0.8% calcium is sufficient. Similarly, 0.3% phosphorus is sufficient. So we tried various parameters in this trial, like breast meat bone ratio, everything. We conducted slaughter studies also. So we studied the bone density, bone breaking strength, all the parameters we covered. Here the feed cost was low in 0.8% calcium and 0.3% phosphorus. So based on various parameters studied, the production performance, carcass traits, bone characteristics, mineral retention, etc., we can come to conclusion that 0.8% calcium and 0.3% available phosphorus is sufficient for asil birds up to 12 weeks of age. So we studied the copper and zinc requirement studies also in asil chicken. So earlier we conducted some field trials wherein we collected the samples of feed sample used in the private farms or commercial farms. So we tested for various proximate principles, and the protein content was 17% and ether extract content was 4.1% in the feed used in the private farms. So we analyzed the performance of birds reared under different system of rearing, that is intensive, semi-intensive and backyard farming. So under intensive system, the body weight gain is more because they are fed more concentrated feed. So we analyzed the carcass characteristics of birds that is from commercial farms also. So the dressing percentage was around 72%. So we analyzed the liver and tibia bone zinc content as well as copper content of liver and tibia bone also. So that was more in the intensive system when compared to the semi-intensive or backyard poultry farming system. So we conducted a biological trial using 192 birds under factorial design to assess the zinc and copper requirement in asil chicken. So this is the feed formulation what we used for our trial, containing 12 and 24 ppm of copper and 80 and 160 ppm of zinc in the diet. So this is the chemical composition of the experimental feed. So the basal feed without addition of mineral mixture, that was containing 6.3 ppm of copper and 24 ppm of zinc. So we studied the body weight, feed intake and FCR. So copper was not having any effect on body weight gain or FCR, whereas zinc that improved the body weight gain and there was improvement in the FCR. So addition of 160 ppm of zinc improved the body weight gain. This is regarding the nutrient metabolism studies. There was no significant difference in the nutrient metabolism. So we evaluated the blood biochemical parameters also, like cholesterol, triglycerides and all. So higher zinc reduces the cholesterol, triglycerides as well as the VLDL cholesterol in the blood. So we studied the mineral deposition also. So at a higher level, the bone zinc level increased. So we studied the gene expression studies also in methyl-methionine and ceruloplasmin. So there was no effect of copper, whereas higher level of zinc, there was a change in the gene expression levels. Coming on to the cost effectiveness, the feed cost per kg weight gain was low in a higher zinc group. So instead of giving 80 ppm, if we give 160 ppm, that was economical. There was improvement in the feed efficiency also. So from this study, we can conclude that dietary supplementation of 12 ppm copper and 160 ppm of zinc is found to be optimum and economical in asil chicken. So again, coming on to the ICAR feeding standard versus our study. So we are recommending 21% protein in the diet and 2,900 kilocalories of energy, 0.8% calcium, 0.3% non-phytate phosphorus, and 12 ppm of copper and 160 ppm of zinc in the diet. So even BIS standard is recommending 60 to 80 ppm, but in our study it is found that 160 ppm is found to be beneficial. Thank you.
It was a nice presentation, and you have covered all these native chicken feed formulations, details of